It's Two on the Aisle with me, Chares Gross, and Leslie Hoban Blake. Tonight reviews of End of the Rainbow, Cyborn Park, The Lyons, and Tribes. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Two on the Aisle. Good evening, I'm Chares Gross, and welcome to Two on the Aisle.
I'm the aforementioned Leslie Hoban Blake. Good evening.
Okay, our next play is The Lyons by Nicky Silver, who's...
Which made me very uncomfortable.
Okay. Well, it made me very annoyed. Nicky Silver, who did a wonderful job with the food chain, didn't have an idea for a play this season, but he wrote one anyway. Ooh. And the result is the Lyons with LInda Lavin. Yes, this is the Vineyard production of The Lyons with LInda Lavin, who turned down Follies, which we saw a little earlier this year, and turned down going to Broadway with something else. Judith Litt.
Other Desert City.
Other Desert City. Thank you, Judith Litt.
Yes, and I'm so glad
role,
she
and
did.
She's been nominated. Yes, frankly, I like Judith Litt much better. I love LInda Lavin. LInda Lavin to play, I think, probably the most annoying character I have seen this season.
You wanted to kill me. It was a whim.
Or next,
plays,
maybe.
yes. I mean, and maybe it's a talent. If she was going for, boy, I really hate this woman, she succeeded.
He just seems to me to be just a little bit retarded. Not excessively.
Jeremy?
Moderately, a little.
Why would you say that?
Well, it's not a criticism.
She
plays a woman who is sitting in the hospital room. Her husband is on his deathbed, and she is figuring out how to redecorate her
and she says to him in that flat voice that only she can do, "So what do you think about blue?" To the man who's dying, she says.
Right.
I couldn't stop laughing. I was snorting in the back.
I honestly didn't see any humor in the situation.
You just have to get past the concept that he's dying.
I'm dying, Rita.
Yeah, I know, but try to be positive.
Children show up.
Right.
One of whom we see in the second act. Turns out he's gay and he has a crush on this real estate agent. So the agent is showing him an apartment, and when the son kind of presses his interest, the guy beats him up. So we're back in the hospital for the remainder of the second act, where the mother announces, "I'm going with some young guy away, and I'm cutting you and your sister off."
Our children are a disaster. Lonely and terrible. I blame you.
Oh my God! And
well,
I kept thinking that you're good. There was a point, because I sure couldn't find it.
I think the point is that there's nobody good in this family. I don't know. I think you're supposed to feel for the son. I'm not quite sure. I think you're supposed to, because I think the son is the Nicky Silver character. So I think you're supposed to feel for the son. But there's really nobody, I don't think, in this play that is likable.
No.
The husband who's in bed is no Day at the Beach either. You know, they deserved each other. Is the point of that?
Apparently, that's not. Yeah. That might have made stronger had he been in a better position. But the guy is dying.
Dick Latessa is
I don't know what he did. I don't recall what he did to deserve her.
But Dick Latessa is, well, he chose her, I guess, is what he did.
Oh well.
But Dick Latessa is the guy who played that
So he
role.
gives as good as he gets, hardly.
But you know, she just she gives them a chance. She says, "What do you hear? You know, what are you going to do? Blah blah blah," and they don't give the right answer. And so she says, "Fine, this is what I'm doing," and then she goes off and does her thing. And I think the idea is.
But I think she would have done it anyway.
Well, see, we have no way of knowing that, and it's not evident. It's not evident that she would do that.
Well,
you get
to
the
me,
feeling
it
that she
is.
was going to take care of them.
I never got that feeling.
Okay, well, maybe because I'm a mother, I got that feeling. But here's the thing. I think what Nicky Silver sat down to do was, how far can I push the envelope, and how can I show the worst family in the world, because there's nobody here who really... The son kind of tries to be someone who loves everybody, and the father cuts him off at the knee. The father doesn't want to have anything to do with him, you know. So I liked it. I didn't like myself for liking it. I liked the first act a lot. The second act, I think it didn't quite know where to go.
The first act was tolerable. The second act this first scene in the second act had no business being in that play. It added nothing to it.
The one with the "You're Like the Blue," is that the one you're talking about?
The one with where he is watching, where he is seeing the apartment.
Oh, the apartment scene. Okay.
You know, and it again, connect that to the rest of the
But
play.
see, the word,
I cannot.
The word connect is this. The boy, the son, has no connection to anyone. He's followed this guy. He has watched him out the window.
Yes.
So he thinks he knows who this guy is.
Right.
And if he has made a terrible mistake and he doesn't know who
Yes.
the guy is.
But again, connect that
But
to
that's
the first
how sad
scene.
that is for
no,
that.
It-
how
yeah,
sad it
it's
is.
sad, and maybe,
Living with that family, that's what this boy has become. He doesn't know how to connect to people. He can't have a normal human
well,
relationship
you know what?
with anyone.
You know what? But he is not the focal point. Maybe
No,
had
well,
there been more focus on him
Perhaps.
in the first act. Maybe had there been more in the.
But he's the only
in
one
the
where
se-
we see a direct connection to the way he was raised and then what happens to him in terms of being able to...
It's a very tentative connection at best.
I think obviously we're going to give it two different
and
numbers
again,
here.
it has nothing, to me, it had nothing to do with the rest of it. There was nothing in the first act scenes that indicated he would do this.
What was it about the food chain that you liked so much?
Well,
If
it
you
was
can
very.
remember, it's
It
hard-
was
I have to think
hilarious.
of-
I mean,
Okay.
he had Phyllis Newman, I think, trying to call the suicide hotline, and she gets a suicide hotline, but she wants the suicide hotline. And then there was a character named Ford, and she, I love that name, and a hilarious performance. And I'm sorry, I forget the actor, by this overweight man confronting his ex-boyfriend.
Oh,
Or something.
I should know who that is, and I can't
And then it's
remember
all
either.
tied, and then it all is tied up, and then there's also this one young woman who I think is manning the suicide, or no, she's calling the suicide hotline. Phyllis Newman is working the suicide. It just came together.
See, everything you've
in
said,
a way.
suicide hotline, really heavy set guy getting in, all of those things don't sound particularly funny, you know. So
Well, you
I guess
have
you had
to see it. You had to be there,
Yes.
and he manages to very nicely connect it all.
Well, I thought
and
he
I'll tell
did
you,
here
he in
too.
person is hilarious. I interviewed him a few years ago at the Obies. He grabbed the
is,
mic
he's
and went on
funny.
this
He is funny.
impromptu rant, and it was
Yeah.
hilarious. But this play again, and I'm kind of paraphrasing Walter Kerr, who said this about another play years ago. He didn't have an idea for her play. He wrote one anyway. This was the result. I will give it 1.5 playbills. I really just did not like
You don't
it.
have to give it any playbills if you didn't
Well,
like it.
yeah.
Give it 0.
No, we'll give it. Look,
Really stand behind that feeling.
I do, but you know,
I'm going to give it 4.
I give-
liked it.
really?
For her performance alone, I would give it that. It's an amazing performance. I can see why she gave up Follies. I can see why she gave up Other Desert Cities.
She did a
This
good job
is-
because it's the first time in my life I've ever wanted to strangle Linda
well,
Lavin.
You see, there you go.
You know, she got me to really hate her,
She-
which I've
she
never done before.
Has refined this kind of character, like down to just the end.
My goodness, no wonder her husband in Broadway Bound left her if this is what she was like.
I guess.